Alright, I'm gonna make some videos. It's Alexander Lawrence, The Portable Infinite. I'm just gonna go through my record collection. I'll have a link in the description. I have about 1,000 records and about 2,000 CDs. So I have uh, I mean, it's kind of like CDs. I got some newer ones right here. This is like the newest stuff. I have some stacks that I listen to. Here's my record player, CD player, and I got like all my favorite records here, there, and the older ones down here and behind me. But I have like I have just these kind of random because you get these little CD trays and stuff, and you kind of put them in there. So I'm just gonna go through them and kind of talk about them. I have, you know, Suzanne Vega, Solitude Standing. I have a few. I have a few of her records on vinyl. I think I have a couple of copies of this. I just bought this at some library sale. There's probably it feels like there's more when the CD thing is broken. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what the CD looks like. Pretty good condition. Yeah. I mean, like when you go to start going to library sales now, you start seeing like really great records from the 80s and 90s kind of appear on the scene because like people are just dumping their collections. What's next? Louis the 14th, their first record. Great cover. Uh, yeah, I mean they have some good songs on here. They kind of came out. Used to play with the Killers a lot, and I think they kind of reformed. They were a great band, but they only had like the one good album, and that was it. What's next? Oh yeah, Gary Wilson. Oh yeah, I interviewed. Let's see. Let me talk about some of the ones I've interviewed. Well, I met Suzanne Vega at South by Southwest, maybe 2010. She played there in the church where a lot of bands play. So I was like, my friend Miranda Richards played like a show with her, and I remember watching Jacob Dylan. But I've seen her a few times, like at the El Rey in LA. And I interviewed Louis the 14th. Whenever this record came out, I'm guessing like 2006 or 2007. I've seen them play a few times. I mean, they're like a San Diego band, and then I got Gary Wilson, who I also met. He did a bunch of shows with Foxygen years back, and I got to meet him. He put me on the list for one of the shows, so he's cool. And Air, Moon Safari, probably whenever this came out, like '98. So when I was in New York, this was like, always playing like everywhere, all those stores and bars, parties you go to. It was like a cool chill out record. God, I'm not even halfway through. New York Dolls, no comment. Just one of my favorite records of all time. I had the vinyl too, and Todd Rundgren produced it. What's here? Gorky Psychotic Monkey. I interviewed these guys too. This is one of my favorite albums, and so I got to see him play a bunch of times. What's next? John Fox. This is kind of a weird. This is probably my favorite John Fox record. Probably I like this more than the stuff he did with Ultravox. And I think the last time I went to London, I kind of tried to set up an interview with him, but no, not happening. Gliss, Love the Virgins. This is actually like their first record. They have a couple. I think there's maybe like an English one and then the American one. And there's two. It has different songs. This is kind of like. I mean, part of it's like BRMC, part of it's like the Libertines, and then part of it's like them. But I think they're whatever that record's called, the second one, Implosion, Devotion Implosion, or whatever it's called. I think that was like their best record. Oh, okay, and then Gliss. This is like part of the third record. They're just the third record is probably my second favorite record, produced by Martin Cleveland, Victoria. Got to do some shows with this is just an EP. I toured with them. I guess I have a Gliss T-shirt. I was their tour manager like around 2011 for a couple years. Another band, I kind of Mall Historical Society. I guess this guy's been putting out records like the whole time. He toured with the Strokes like in real early on, and he's been doing. I forget the guy's name, but I interviewed him too. I interviewed of all these people. I interviewed Gorky's, Gliss, Mall Historical Society, Louis the 14th, half of them. Lana Del Rey, first record. I remember playing this to some friends like back when it came out, and nobody really cared for it. One of the great records of all time, Crystal Castle's first one. Haven't listened to it in ages. And God, what else do I have here? Oh yeah, Las Vegas. So yeah, Gliss and Las Vegas. Their first one, probably my favorite record by them. They don't play here, but I think they still play. And so I got two by Calla. This is like one of my favorite New York bands of during the time of the Strokes and the Rapture and all those bands. And Calla. Definitely worth a revisit. And then we got Gorillaz, Demon Days. This is the one with this is like I think this is the second one. There's a couple of different versions of that. One of my Gorillaz doesn't have the CD, the Plastic Beach one. What's next? Oh yeah, I got Beefheart. Everyone should have like some Beefheart. And Brian Jonestown. I mean, now when this came, I remember this is like kind of like when I started listening to Brian Jonestown a lot, like from Strung Out in Heaven, Bravery, Repetition and Noise, kind of like when I kind of got into him. So this is like kind of like maybe the first release, or this one, or Zero. Oh, there's a couple of Brian Jonestown here. And this is like kind of like when they came out with this, people started taking them kind of seriously. And I interviewed them, of course. And who was the one before that? Oh yeah, Beefheart. Never met him. Never got to see him. Probably had a chance, but I've seen Gorillaz play a lot of times. And Broadcast, one of my favorite bands of that same time. And they're worth checking out. Okay, so let's do the next one a little bit faster. Okay, that's my first rack number one. Okay. And it's just kind of with random CDs. I mean, it was like stuff I was listening to a while ago. Okay, that's it. 8 minutes. Let's make the next one's going to be 5 minutes.